I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby.
Hi guys, Tommy here. It's been a while. I've been up to quite a bit since my last video. Been getting my butt kicked in ARA matches, shooting local bench rest, and changing and modifying some different guns. One of the next series that I'm going to try shooting in is going to be Eley X series, which is all kind of like a self-reporting 6 targets a month kind of shoot. And so I wanted to set one of my guns up to shoot Eley consistently. And one of the things I found was a neat little kit that allows me to check headspace. And let's see if we can get this to where you can see it here. So it'll focus. This is a headspace gauge kit, and these are picked up at Whidden Gunworks. I don't know if you guys can see my fat fingers, obviously, but there we go. These, you can basically determine what your headspace is before you take the gun or bolt or anything like that apart. Stick these in, and it ranges from 39 thousandths all the way up to 45 thousandths, and determine where your headspace is at. That kind of tells you what you need to add to your bolt or add to your barrel if you need to add headspace. And from there, you can just pull your bolt out, throw your shims in, a couple shims in to get you where you think you need to be, and then you can retest it. And what I've done is I've set this up per Eley spec for 40 thousandths. I'm going to throw the 40 thousand shim in here. It'll go in, close. And when you're closing these, you don't want to close it super tight. You don't want to do any damage to the bolt face or the chamber face. And then they just drop right back out when you're done. We'll throw a 41 in, and you'll kind of see where these CZs stop. And you can see right there, it doesn't want to close. So we know 41 is too big. 40 is perfect. 41's too big. So I know I've got my headspace set right around that 40 thousandths to shoot Eley ammo, which is Eley's spec for shooting their ammo. Anyway, didn't hear a whole lot about these, and when you search them online, there wasn't a whole lot out there about these. And basically, I was just going down the rabbit hole on the interwebs, and I found myself at Whidden Gunworks website, and I saw these there. I was like, man, that would be handy and save me a whole lot of time and disassembly when it comes to my guns and setting headspace. So I picked them up. I believe they're listed for $75 on their website. I think I ended up paying a little over $80 shipped to my door. And they even come with this cool little 3D printed case that just kind of goes all together. You find the notches and it locks in place, and you don't really have to worry too much about it. So pretty cool deal they came up with. The other thing I noticed on their website is they show it can be back ordered, which kind of makes you think that they're not in stock. I ordered it and it shipped within a day or two. So I wouldn't be too, taken aback by that. I don't know if it's just their website's not updated or if I just got lucky and they found one underneath the shelf or something like that. Next modification I did was everybody at my club is taken to the tier 1 bipods, and for good reason. They give you a super stable setup. It has been wonderful. I can set it up to shoot from a higher perch, lower perch. I could put just my normal Caldwell squeeze bag under the back of this and shoot with it. I've been really happy with that bipod since I got it just earlier this week. And then the last thing that I've been kind of trying and shooting with is at these ARA matches, I kind of got linked up with, I think he's a fairly well-known rest maker, and his name is Cliff Arnold. He owns Arnold Machine, and he makes these rear rests. I'm not ready to go down the rabbit hole of doing the whole single feed 2500X action uh, full custom rifle yet. So talking with Cliff, he let me know that he makes these. He also did mention that he doesn't know how much longer he's going to make these. Has a lot of time into them, and for what you get, $350 as a steel. But he was talking about the cost and the time to make them doesn't get him a whole lot out of it. Uh, but what you do get, if you do end up getting one of these, is you get a really excellent value, I think. I told him, I was like, hey, I'll probably shoot a video on it. You may be forced to make a few more if anybody wants them. And I'll put Cliff's info in the comments. I'll pin it to the top so you guys know where to, who to call and harass and make a rest for you if you guys like this. Um, I am in no way endorsed by any of these guys. It's just products I like, and I wanted to share with you all. So nothing was free, nothing was given. There's nothing on the back end, but it is something I felt was valuable knowledge so we can all grow and learn in this sport. So I've got my headspace set on this to 40 thousandths. I've got my rest set up and everything like that. And I've got a ton of different lots of Eley match. And I figured we'll do some lot testing and kind of see what works best. I'm going to start with 1044. We'll do a 10-shot group, then 2 5-shot groups, then 1052, 1064, 1072, 1083, and we'll see how all this stuff does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reposition this camera. We'll get set up, ready to shoot, and we'll let her rip. All right, guys, I'm back. We're going to start with Eley match 1044. Not doing any velocity testing or anything like that. Just trying to figure out what works best in the rifle and what I should order more of. After that, we can do some velocity testing and kind of narrow down what velocity range the gun likes and kind of go from there. So we'll start with a 10-shot group. And I may be a little slower with this rest. Okay. Just gonna move right into our 2 5-shot groups. I'm gonna keep this video rolling and I'm gonna edit in between groups to keep the video shorter here. Okay. Move on to 1052. Okay, guys. 1052. Going to start our 10-shot groups. We'll click left into them. Oops. That is a thing of beauty for a 10-shot group. That's, I'm guessing, in the 0.2s, maybe 0.3. Swap out. All right, 5-shot groups. Not bad. Had one kind of break away from the group there. There we go. Pretty decent groups out of that 1052. Move on to the next one. All right, guys, moving on to Eley 1064. This rest, the adjustments are wonderful. Ten-shot group. There we go. Another phenomenal 10-shot group. Move over to starter 5s. Can't complain about that. Yeah, there's a 5. Not bad. We'll move over to our next one, which will be 1072. All right, guys. Eley 1072, 10-shot group. Didn't pick one out that time. There we go. There we go.
Alright, move on to our 5-shot groups. Not bad. It's a pretty shot by itself.
Looks like they're starting to kind of split a little bit there, but
Overall, none of these groups are looking terrible.
okay. Got more loaded up.
As you guys can tell, these are ARA and limited class targets. So if you're kind of wanting like a bit of a size comparison or something to kind of give you an idea of how big the groups are. I'll also have measurements posted as the groups are being shot with averages. Let's start the 10-shot group on the 1083. There was some wind during that shot. Whoa. All right, let's move on to our 5-shot groups. It looks like that was the worst 10-shot group we've done today. Trying to shoot them a little fast here as we get a wind condition. I'm trying to stay in it. One of the things I've learned about ARA, it's all about wind reading. If you want to do good in ARA, you've got to be able to read the wind and adapt to some of these different ranges. Last 5-shot group. Well, I'm going to say this gun doesn't like 1083. So, information we've gathered, I'm going to say 1052 to the 1060 range. This gun seems to like it. Maybe 1070 range. You get out of those 3 areas there, I feel like the groups were opening up bigger and bigger.
Before I shot the first group, I did fire off about 30 rounds in the foul of the barrel, trying to keep everything clean, or get everything shooting consistently. Anyway, as always, guys, if you like what I put down, please like, subscribe, comment. Tell me how I'm doing and things you'd like to see different. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.